Now, food chains, they are one line, or you can say isolated links without being interacting with each other. Now, this time we are having food webs. Webs means जाला, या जिस तरह मकड़ी का वेब होता है, तो ये वेब का मतलब है कि एक लिंक दूसरे लिंक से, एक चेन दूसरे चेन से मिल जाता है, इसको हम फूड चेन कहते हैं। ये लेक्चर तमाम बॉटनी, इकोलॉजी, बायोलॉजी, ज़ूलॉजी, जो भी स्टूडेंट्स हैं फॉरेस्ट्री के, जो भी बायोलॉजिकल साइंसेस पढ़ते हैं, उन सब के लिए कारआमद साबित होगा। ये आप देखें, दिस इज़ वन food chain, a very complicated one. Just a diagram is there. At the base, there is tree, herb, shrubs, grasses, and from them, then we have a primary consumers, secondary consumers, tertiary consumers. All of them, they are somehow directly, indirectly linked to the grass. So these various blue, black, or red lines, they indicates who eats whom. So Charles Eaton was the person who introduced the concept of food web. He also called it a food cycle. Food chains reveal the complex connections that exist throughout ecosystems. Each creature in a food chain occupies a distinct niche in ecosystem. Each creature, each organism has a specific niche, specific place in that food chain. Either he is a herbivore, either that organism is a carnivore, secondary, primary, top, whatever it is, but has a specific position at the food level. Food chains show how one organism relies on the survival of the other organisms. Two or more food chains get connected with each other, forming a food web. So whenever two food chains get connected, that is a web. 3, 4, 5, no matter how many they are there, so there would be a food web. Complex food webs offer more stability to ecosystem than simple food chain. Complex food webs जो होती हैं, तो they offer stability to the system. इसकी एग्जांपल मैं आपको इस तरह दे देता हूँ कि किसी एक देहात में एक ही दुकान है. You have no choice except to get things, buy things from that particular shop, particular person, and if that is closed, the process stops. But if you have 2 or 3 or 4 shops, then you have a chain of shops. This is a chain of shops, and this is food chain. Stability of ecosystem depends on the complexity of the food webs because more choices, sources, ways of getting food are available for the survival of the organisms. Food webs provide alternate food sources. The spelling here is mistaken, so it is a source. This is again, I have given you a complex soil food web. You can see that the bottom line, first level is the trophic level, second level is decomposers level, third level is a shredder level, fourth level is the higher level, or fifth level is then various organisms which need. And all of them, these arrows, they show the linkage among these chains. Feeding at more than one food levels. This is also another definition. that feeding of the organism, when they feed at different levels, that is, they use, for example, grass, they use insect, they use some birds, they use some other things. So different levels if they are feeding, so they are making a food chain or food complex. Moreover, many species eat each both plants and animals and therefore feed at more than one trophic level. So all those species which utilize plants and animals, they feed or they depend upon more than one trophic level. Consequently, food chains combine into highly complex food webs. Even a simplified food web shows a complicated network of trophic relationships. Now we are coming here to get a definition. Food chain, खुराक की जंजीर या खुराक का तसलसल is a linear sequence of transfer of energy and nutrients from one organism to another organism through eating and being eaten. So remember, this is always a process of eating and being eaten. You are eating someone, someone will eat you. Food chains never remain isolated in nature. They naturally link up with other due to interactions. So interactions are there. Therefore, food webs, खुराक का जाला या खुराक का जाल, जिस तरह मकड़ी का जाल होता है, is a more complex way interconnected network of multiple food chains within ecosystem. Essentially, a food web is a collection of all the food chains in any ecosystem. A food chain shows flow of energy between organisms as one organism eats another one. This is a universal process, eating and being eaten. While a food web shows multiple interconnected food chains within an ecosystem, producers or plants use sunlight to make their own food, while consumers eat, utilize, graze on other organisms, and decomposers break down the dead organic matter. A food web comprises of all food chains in a single ecosystem. Within a single ecosystem, every ecosystem has its own food web. Grassland, water, mountain, river, multiple polluted area, all of them, they do have their own food webs. Each living thing is a part of a multiple food chain in ecosystem. Each food chain provides one possible path that energy and nutrients may take as they move through the ecosystem. Each food chain is one possible path and one possible source, one possible position for an organism to get the fruit and transfer the energy. All of the interacted and overlapping food chains in ecosystem make a food web. Whenever there is overlapping, whenever there is interconnection, whenever one chain crosses another chain, that makes a web, jal. That jal is known as a food web. Organisms in food webs are grouped into categories called trophic levels. Organisms in a food web, they are categorized into various trophic levels. Roughly speaking, these food levels are producers, plants, consumers, herbivores, decomposers, last trophic level, which decomposes the material and again provides the energy to the system. Food webs are defined by their biomass also. Biomass is the energy in living organisms. Autotrophs, the producers in a food web, convert the solar energy into the biomass. Biomass decreases with each trophic level. There is always more biomass at lower level than the upper level, because as we go higher up, the energy decreases, so the number of organisms decreases. and so on. Because biomass decreases with each trophic level, there are always autotrophs. Then more autotrophs than herbivores in a healthy ecosystem. There are herbivores than carnivores. There are more herbivores than carnivores. An ecosystem cannot support a large number of omnivores without supporting an even larger number of herbivores and even larger number of autotrophs. A healthy food web has abundance of autotrophs, many herbivores, relatively few carnivores, and omnivores. The balance helps the ecosystem and maintains recycling. Each link in a food web is connected to at least two others. The biomass of an ecosystem depends on how balanced and connected its food web is. When one link in the food web is threatened, destroyed, damaged, some or all the links are weakened or stretched. Ecosystem biomass declines. The case of, I'll give you case of an Indus River disturbance. The loss of plant life usually leads to decline in the herbivore population. Plant life can decline due to drought, disease, human activity. Forests are cut down to provide lumber or construction. Grasslands are changed into new croplands or settlement. The second loss of biomass, the loss of biomass on the second and third trophic level imbalances the food webs. Consider what happened when River Indus at Turbela was diverted that severely damaged downstream ecosystem at all levels, Swabi and onwards downward. Now the places which used to give or where people used to harvest a variety of fishes, now no fishes are there, water has been reduced and the river path bed has been dried. Marine food webs are generally longer than the terrestrial food webs. Scientists estimate that if there are million producers, algae, phytoplankton, sea in a food, there will be only 10,000 herbivores. Such a food web may support only 100 secondary consumers like tuna fish. All these organisms support only one apex predator, the man. Food web, an example for Lake Ontario, an organism can eat multiple types of prey or be eaten by multiple predators at different trophic levels. The cow is a primary consumer and the lettuce leaf on the field is a primary producer. These relationships shown in food webs graph at all the trophic levels and their related interactions among various species in food web form from the Lake Ontario. Primary producers are marked in green, primary in consumers in orange, secondary, and so on. Different colors are there. You can see this is the base level, green one, herbivores, plants, producers, then herbivores, then carnivores, and tertiary carnivores. So the number, the types, the species keeps on decreasing as we go higher up. In the meadows ecosystem, the grazing web of plants and animals provides inputs for food web of detritus. The detrital web is shown in simplified form in the brown band across the bottom of the diagram. And really, In reality, it consists of various species linked by the specific feed-in interaction, showing connections by arrows. Detritus food webs can contribute energy to the grazing animals. This is again a diagrammatic representation of the, you can see uh, grasses, and below soil you can see the detritus organisms. Upper you see the herbivores, carnivores, and the topmost is the apex carnivore. Thank you very much for listening and sharing time. Please like, share, subscribe. Let me have a glass of water. Thank you, my uh, grandson. What is your name? Shehzad Aziz, for bringing me a glass of sharbat, and my daughter who is attending me. Thank you very much, both of you.